Top creators waste hours of time editing video intros. I've built code that auto-generates perfect intro hooks from one short recording. Today, I ditched Claude Code for GitHub Copilot, battle installs and bugs live, and render a real hook on screen. You'll see the full pipeline, the code, the failures, the fixes, and the tweaks that make it usable. If you want faster uploads and less manual editing, watch me push this to 100%, or spectacularly fail try. Let's go. Okay, let's build some hook creating code. In the last video, I walked through the whole plan for this, the PRD. We got Claude to analyze the plan, or analyze the PRD, and it's written a plan for us. Now, in this video, I'm going to defect from using Claude Code and start using GitHub Copilot. Touched on that in the last video. Basically, I'm at 98% usage. I'm not confident I'm going to be able to build all this with that 2%. And what I don't want to do is have it half built and then switch. So why am I switching? Long story short, Copilot's cheaper. So I used Copilot for a few months before I switched to Claude Code. It has Claude, so I still use Sonnet within Copilot. So I'm still using Claude. It's just it's run under GitHub Copilot. You got access to all the other models in there, should you want to use them. I've only ever used Sonnet. But in my experience, I got more done with GitHub Copilot. And more importantly, if you go over the plan, the overage costs are cheaper. So the premium requests, as Copilot call them, they're just cheaper. They don't rack up your credit card bill like Claude did. Hence why I've stopped using Claude Code and I've now got GitHub Copilot. So what I did at the end of the last video, this was our planning session with Claude Code, and then I went, hey, write the plan so my other coding agent can pick it up. So that was our PRD, README. This is the plan. So this is what Claude's written. Now I'm going to switch to GitHub Copilot and pray this works. Otherwise, this could be like one of those YouTube disaster movies. So I've just, paid for the Copilot subscription. Had a bit of a freak out because I wasn't seeing the models under here. So I was like, have they taken Sonnet away? But there it is. So I can go, whoop, Sonnet. Notice they've got stuff like this, like 10% discount if you use auto, so they'll flip around which model they use. Should try that. But also some models burn more of what they call premium request quotas, so certainly Opus uses more, but that's the same with Claude, right? So we'll run with 4.6. I think I was on 4.5, and then 4.6 came out while I was on Claude, so there you go. And the experience in GitHub Copilot is exactly the same as Claude Code. The only difference is I haven't set up some of the plugins and things that Claude had in Copilot yet. Copilot can read all that. Copilot will read agent instructions, all the rest of it. So that's no problem. One thing I'm going to need to do is rename this so GitHub Copilot brings it up. Let's just ask it the question. What should I name this file so you can read it as agent instructions? Read it as agent instructions. There we go. And then this output is exactly what's coming from Anthropic. Name it that. Yeah, so can you make this change? You'll notice a lot I go from dictating using Whisper to typing. I'm not used to doing all of the things I want with narration yet, and sometimes I find it's kind of easy to get my thoughts out in text than speech. A learning process. So we've asked it to do something complicated. No. Stop. Don't do that. I don't need you to read it. I just need you to move it. So maybe it was going to go, are your instructions kind of any good? Shall I rewrite them for you? Yes, maybe, but not at the moment. So we'll just do that. Copy, paste. Should have just renamed it. I'm going to keep the Claude one there as well, just for giggles. and we are good. So with Copilot, obviously interface is a little different, but I can just hit that to go new chat. We'll go to our plan, and we will go straight into agent mode. So I could use plan mode. I think if you press tab, no, I'm wrong. What's that? Shift Command I will toggle the modes. That's not working either. Interesting. They used to write what mode it was in the UI, which I preferred, but now they're just giving an icon, which is annoying. They did that when they brought in this feature about agent types, so you can spawn them in the background, run them in the cloud, which is cool. But we will run this here. Implement this requirement. Let's see how we go. So I'm hoping Claude wrote a good enough plan here such that Copilot via Claude Sonnet can pick this up and do what I want. That's kind of what's happening. It's all going through Sonnet, so minus a couple of configuration differences, we're effectively executing the same coding model. So just pause the video while Copilot / Sonnet is having a good old think about this. It's reading the code base. Same thing Claude Code would do. So I'll keep the video paused while this chugs away and then pick up when it's stuck or come back with something. Probably move inside as well. Getting a bit noisy out here. Okay, Copilot is done. Didn't take too long. I wonder whether that's because the bones of the technical concepts and patterns were already figured out. So this has very much been a task where all the technical discovery and hard parts to figure out, I'd kind of already done. So the whole pipeline has figured out how to do audio over video editing, the various things this is going to use. So maybe that makes it easier. I was surprised the plan that Claude wrote was as short as it is. So let's see. We haven't seen any of it working yet. I can already see little problems, but these are all sort of standard issues you get from a new project. Smash through the to-dos, and we've got a little summary. Not quite as nice as the summaries you get out of Claude Code. That, you know, it's got sort of better markdown. But I'm sure GitHub will, you know, do that kind of stuff over time. What I do like about GitHub as well is you can see it integrates better. So see how in Claude Code, like it's referencing file paths and things. With GitHub, because it's a, you know, Microsoft VS Code product, all the references to files are in the chat, so I can jump straight to anything it's talking about. So it just integrates a little bit better. And again, running on Sonnet, so it's still Claude. So new script, new package, the animations, we'll see those. It's added it to the pipeline. We've got some config to set up. And then it's telling us how to run it. So first thing, we need to set up Remotion in this new hook creator. First thing I'm going to do is open up Remotion Studio and take a look at these animations, if they load. So depending on how it's set Remotion up, they may be visible. Certainly when it did the main Remotion project that I use for the overlays, it worked. So Remotion, if you want to get it started, you need to be in the directory where Remotion is installed, and then npm run studio. Should see that script in the package JSON, and there it is. No source was passed to audio. Yeah, so this looks like it's going to need the input to run. So let's just try and run it, which I may regret. So hook creator, I'm going to create a README in here. We need to do a bit of setup essentially. So it's been a while, Copilot. thought it had a copy button. Where's that gone? So it had a nice button you could click to copy the response. Not a big deal. I can just do that. So we've done that. Place hook source in the job workspace. Okay, this may have been a mistake. Let's see where it's referencing that. 14, yeah. So if you see this, it needs a an overall video running for this to work. Okay, I'm going to hack one in rather than run a video through. So here's my workspace. So I'll go hook test, open in Finder. And then here's one I prepared earlier. So this is actually the intro to the last video. No, don't do that. So we've got that. Let's name it something shorter. So it's only a 44 meg video, which is why this is going to be relatively quick to test. So this may be wanting to load other stuff from the workspace. So there may be some errors. We'll deal with those as we come across them. Add music tracks. So this should gracefully fail. I'm not going to worry about music for the moment. Haven't got any. Just a tip. This is what I'm using for music. Sooner. It's freaking amazing. Should we download some? No. Let's stay focused because this might wander over to a part 3 to get this finished, depending on how tricky this gets. Install Whisper plus CPC model to bin. That should be installed. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, and then run pipeline from step to step. Okay, so that's cool. So rather than running just the school, I think that will fail because I haven't got the overall job complete. So let's take a look at this. What's this expected? As this is the script it's built. Input job. Can you give me a CLI command to run? I was hoping it would let me paste the file name directly. So essentially I'm going, write me the script to run this by itself. Go, thank you. Copy, need to run it in back end. Let's quit out of Remotion. Go into the back end. And I don't need that. And then job ID and the path job ID will be test. Path of the footage will be this. Copy path, paste. And fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. Yay! Error. That's a change that I built on my PC that I haven't set up here. Let me just fix that. Okay, got past the error, running it, but it's not doing anything. I'm running this script, but nothing is happening. You want to do a new line in the prompt, Shift Enter or Shift Return. Maybe I didn't activate the virtual environment. My bad. That may be what I did. Okay, it's going to add logging, which is good. Okay, so it wasn't logging. It set that up, but it's also looking for this, which is wrong. It's going to be hook source MOV. So I'm just going to change that in the code. A couple of other references. Try it again. Hook source MOV not found. And my file isn't named correctly. There we go. Now it's running. So I can see there, first thing it's run, it's silence detection. Found one silence segment, keeping 2 segments, 40 seconds, so not much. Now it's doing the recompose, boom, and then Whisper's failed. Whisper CPP not found at this location. See, okay. I'm going to flip over to this. This is Screen Producer. This is another one of my apps. This uses Whisper. So where is Whisper installed? Well, I'll Claude Code that because I still have 2% usage. Wrong. Try again. So Whisper's the transcription app I use. That's what I'm pressing, so I can narrate the prompt I want. Interesting. So I'm gonna have to install it again because this has installed it locally. So not a big deal. Install it at and set Whisper model in config. Let's fix up config first. Create a base. So I'm going to want small. Can you install the small Whisper model in? Cool. That's going to download that in there. Oh, interesting. This should be a what's called a symbolic link. No, it's not. Interesting. So I've actually committed FFmpeg into my code base. Not that big a deal, it's only 0.5 meg, but we certainly don't want to commit this thing. GitHub will not like that. So, VS Code, get that. Interesting. There's usually an add to git ignore, put it in manually. So now that will mean that needs to be installed when I run this. I'll just pause while it's downloading. Okay, this is working on installing Whisper, but it's also found an error in the code. To do with how this was invoking Whisper, so you can see there, to get the word level timestamps out, it needs to do this. So it's fixing stuff as it goes. Fine. While that's ticking along, other thing to show is the first part of this script is working. So it's got my hook, it's pulled off the left side, me just talking there, and it's got the audio, so it's ready to transcribe, which is obviously where we are stuck. One last thing before we try again. Can you add a script I can run when I use this code on my Windows machine to set up Whisper CPP correctly? So a lot of this is using Homebrew, which is a Mac thing. I run this code mainly on my powerful Windows PC, so all this stuff's going to need to work on Windows. Now, while that's doing that, we can try rerunning the script. It should just do everything again, recomposing the hook, so that's pulling out the left side. Then it will do the audio. This is creating a PowerShell script. Interesting. We'll let that tick along. And it's running Whisper. Awesome. This should be pretty quick, assuming it's not going to crash. Okay. And it's crashed on the music. Right, we're going to need some music. So let's go to Suno and download some music. Suno's awesome. Go in, type what you want, spit you out music. Keep clicking generate if you don't like what you get. So I think $12 a month gets you 500 songs. Seems to vary the length of what they spit out. So they vary between sort of 2 to 4 minutes. I've had a couple that are longer. It's just very, very cool. Right, configuration, music, there's the folder. Get our track here, pop that in there. Try it again. This is still having to think about my Windows setup. I'm not going to worry too much about that. I'll have to work with that when I pull this down on the... Whisper's run, 32 caption segments, selected music, rendering hook video via Remotion. I bet it's a mess. I'm fully expecting a mess. I'm not assuming this is going to look any good and it's going to need a lot of tweaking, is my expectation. It's blown up. Okay, we're going to need to get Copilot to have a look at that. While it's still thinking about this stuff, let's have a look in our folder and see what's been generated so far. So we've got the audio extracted, the video pulled out, hook transcript raw, and hook segments. So we'll take a look at hook segments. This is kind of what I'm interested in. Okay, just going to put this, a note for this, readme Windows. Copy that. So when I go back to Windows, and we are going to need this fix. Don't do that. got an error running the hook script. Let's have a look at the data. So hook says, words, do you record long? This is what it's done. So everything I've said, it's gone right. Do 0.2 seconds, you 0.2 to 0.5 seconds. So it's completely chunked it to the word. And then you can see there, layout, caption bottom, fade up, transition none. So this is like an instruction for how to build this, the hook with the animations. So once that feeds into Remotion, it'll probably do it. It'll probably pick the right things and apply them. What I'm expecting is though it will just look weird, and each of these little components like caption bottom fade up need tweaks to make them look better. Okay, that's fixed that. I am super excited to see what this spits out. The other thing I think is going to happen is the music's going to be too loud because I didn't tell it to turn the volume level of the music down. So expect that as well. I also need to get it to make my vocals sound a bit better. So in this script, process footage, it runs some EQ and a couple of other things on my voice. All right, let's try this. Still getting an error. So I think what's happening here is this is React code, right? So it's passing in like a path for a video on my hard drive, and React's web-based. So it's expecting to be able to kind of download it. So that's why it's saying it's getting, oh, couldn't load resource, 500, can only download, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't like these file protocols. This should be fixable. This is what everyone's doing with Remotion. So yeah, it's found the problem. Remotion's renderer doesn't accept file, only accepts HTTP, uses offset thread video. Let me check how the existing Remotion components handle this. Don't, because I don't pass any video in yet. It's having a think. What this hasn't done yet is use Remotion skills. Okay. Looks like it's hacked in some kind of proxy web server, and now it's hacking away at the code. Hook video, what have you done here? Yeah, so you can see this get layout component. So from that file, depending on which one it is, it'll load a different treatment for each part of the video. Two changes. Creates a temp directory, symlinks the video music, passes bare file names as props, adds public directory, cleans up temp directory after rendering. Cool. Let's try it again. So with my main pipeline, all these separate stages, I ran them one at a time and made sure I could run each individually, because, you know, if one thing goes wrong, you don't want to have to wait for the whole thing to run. But because this is so quick, it's kind of not too big a deal to run it. So it's definitely getting a URL now, but it's just still not finding it. Still erroring. Go. Hopefully we're close. So if we get this to a point where it loads, we'll take a look. Then I think I'll close this video off. I will have a think offline about what kind of changes I want to make and whether that will be worth a follow-up video. And so that might be a part 3, but then also integrating this into the overall pipeline so we get this to render this hook out and then put it at the start of an actual video would be a part 3. Okay, this is going to be crazy. It's built a local web server to serve the videos. It shouldn't need to do this, so I'm going to get it to unwind that, but because I'm impatient, I just want to see if this works. So I'm going to keep going. If this doesn't work, then I'll get Copilot to have a think. I'm not sure it's picking up the Remotion skills. So way back in one of the previous episodes, so they're under Claude still. So Remotion best practices, I don't think Copilot's picking those up. So we'll fix that up, then all this Remotion stuff should get a bit better. Rendering hook video via Remotion. I think it's working. Assets servers on ports, it's got the music. I think it's doing it. So cool. We're going to get something. Remotion's not the quickest thing. It's got to use React to render a frame and advance the whole video frame by frame until it can get the whole lot. So I'm glad I'm not rendering 40-minute videos through it, but for a kind of 30-40 second video, it's worth the wait. So we should start to see something in here in just one moment, which is very exciting. And then we'll see if this is a disaster or not. So this this hook is actually the hook I recorded for the previous video. So it's not my best performance for reading an intro, but we'll see how it looks. Okay, failed with a manifest error, but rendered hook final. So we have a video, which is the important. So here it is. I'll turn the audio way down. Record long videos only to realize that your intro at the start was wrong. I've built Scroll and AI patterns to write a perfect edit. Plus, I'll set up React testing. Okay, it's working. So, a few things I'm thinking. So, you can see it's kind of doing this crash zoom. These jump cuts, they're really annoying. So I'm going to unwind those. So there's just like a transition where, like, you see there how it's going digit. Well, that's not what I wanted. The captions on the side, they're fine. They just need repositioning. All that's fine. And then the only thing it hasn't got is the speed up footage. So something's gone wrong there. But apart from that, so as a base for this is the treatment I want to apply, this is really good. It's going to work. It's just going to need more kind of styles of video. And that should be easy now. That should just be like, oh, I want to add a new hook style for a graphic being on the screen. So you can see those sort of crash zooms. They're working nice. Yeah. And then I could hear the music as well. I won't be putting house music on these videos. Yeah. Cool. Very cool. Let's see if we can get it to do the intro footage. So, what is this thing? I'm guessing speed up preview. Sped up main source preview. Into that, path to main input video file. Okay. So we can try this. And that'll be a good thing to close out. Oh, interesting. So I gave it. Okay, I don't understand what's happening. Speed up preview. Take first 300 seconds of input file, speed it up 15 times, strip audio. If not input file, hook C, no input provided. So you can see, oh, there you go. Test intro not found. Skip it. So I thought this was supposed to be the actual video of the hook. I renamed it, and that's wrong. Okay, I understand what's happening. Let's get this open, and then what I'm going to do is borrow one of the other, that in, and we'll name that screen footage. Like so. That's appeared there. Copy path. Go back here. Change this. And run it again. So it's going to take a little while to run. You just saw how long the render took. We'll just confirm that that hook C log statement comes out. And then I'll pause, wait for the whole thing, and we'll see if it brings in that sped up footage of this video. Then this will be done. So this will have done everything I wanted it to do. It just needs a lot of tweaks. Here you go. Building speed up preview. So it's getting that footage. I've no idea how long it is. And it's going, right, let's burn out a super quick sped up version of it that I'm then expecting it to overlay on screen. And that will make this whole hook process more dynamic, more interesting. And it's done that. And now it's down to the render. So I'll just pause for a second, pick up when it's finished. Okay, it's worked. Let me play you back version 2. Do you record long videos only to realize the start was wrong? I've built Screen Producer. This is a screen assistant and screen recording content creators. And in this video, I demo it with Claude and show an AI-powered post-recording hook generator that writes a perfect, accurate hook based on what was actually said. Plus, I'll set up React so edits don't break my app. Stick around, I'll fix 3 annoying issues live and show you how this can speed up your whole workflow. Okay, not bad, some problems. Every time it cuts to the screen, you heard it does there's a gap in the audio. So it's got some kind of problem like there where it's doing, where it's put the screen, that there's a gap. I love what it's done here. I didn't ask for this. So where it's put kind of me bottom right or that's very cool. The sped up footage works really well. So there's like the whole idea with speeding it up was getting enough movement so that, it's just blasting you with visuals. Having said that, it is a bit fast paced. So the rule I said where I said every 2 to 4 words, not sure. I might tweak that. The other thing I'm noticing is it's chopping like it's chopping apostrophes in the transcript, which is bad. So if we have a look at transcript, search for, see how it's done that? That might be a Whisper setting. And then anything like a full stop, we'll want to strip. So we'll want to say, don't include apostrophes and things like that. So there'll be tweaks to how Whisper runs that should mitigate some of this. And then another thing is, you can see when Whisper does the transcription, it's putting a leading space, and that was making the captions on screen look weird. That's easy to fix. That'll just be trim it. And then they should all start appearing a bit better, like that. The other thing I noticed was, it's making some mistakes. So some of the captions are just plain wrong, where Whisper's not run correctly. It's fine, we'll just live with that. But otherwise, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. This is exactly what I wanted. So some tweaks to make. I'll make a follow-up. I will research that in advance so I know kind of what the changes are. Then we'll bash through those. They should be pretty interesting. And then we're there. And then we'll merge this with the main video. Very cool. Okay, there you go. Automated hooks, 90% done. See you in the next video.